Honey, where are my socks? Honey, where are my socks? Honey, where...
Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like...
Fucker! You fucker! Fucker!
Oh!
Huh? What the f...
Hello again, all you moviegoer people. How are you all doing today? Hopefully a lot better than I am. I had a long and tiring day at work, a shitty and frustrating day at school, and a extra shitty and extra rainy night. So I figured I'd do something to help cheer me up and cheer you guys up. And what would that be, you ask? Well, if you're listening to this thing, you probably already guessed it, but just in case for those not listening, this is another movie review. Shocker, I know. This time I'll be reviewing the movie Terminator Salvation, latest installment in the infamous James Cameron killer robot franchise. Terminator Salvation is brought to you by Warner Brothers Pictures, and this one was directed by MCG, or McG, or I don't even know how to say it. It sounds like a rapper's name, but Terminator Salvation stars Christian Bale as John Connor, Sam Worthington as Marcus Wright, Moon Bloodgood, man, it's like a comic book character's name, as Blair Williams, Anton Yelkin, Star Trek's newest Chekhov, as Kyle Reese, Bryce Dallas Howard as Kate Connor, and Michael Ironside as General Ashdown. The plot of Terminator Salvation. Set many years after the events of Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, John Connor is leading a wayward human resistance into a war-torn planet Earth against the seemingly endless hordes of hunter-killer robots and Terminator machines bent on humans' complete extinction. However, the resistance has discovered a weapon that can supposedly shut Skynet down. However, Kyle Reese has been captured, and now John Connor needs to get him back for fear of a whole time paradox thing happening. And at the same time, a mysterious newcomer named Marcus Wright, who has no memory of the war ever happening or what happened before, has come into the game, and now he is on a mission with John Connor's help or not to try and rescue Kyle Reese and help the rest of the humans fight against the machine menace. Review of the plot. Pretty much after the events of Terminator 3, it was pretty obvious that we're going to be smack dab in the middle of the machine war. As far as the story goes, it makes total sense for everything that happens. However, it seems a little quick to come up with this whole theory of pulling out a stop method to Skynet. I mean, the war has just started as far as we're concerned, so it seems kind of, I don't know, jumping the gun a bit to already assume you have a quick cure-all already, and especially since this is the first and supposedly a new trilogy of Terminator films. However, one thing this film definitely does not disappoint in terms of Terminator-ness is the depression. This movie is super freaking dark. It's very dark, gritty, very dramatic, very intense. It's a very grim and gruesome world covered with killer machines and robots, and just takes hope and just rapes it in the ass. This movie really destroys the whole visual hope that the other Terminator films had, that you could possibly stop it, because the whole thing is, you can't stop it, it's already here. So in that regard, the movie definitely got that down. It got the nitty-gritty dark side to it down really well, and there were quite a few interesting surprises. Some I was already aware of, particularly the importance surrounding the character of Marcus Wright, and his special little surprise. I won't say what it is, though hopefully if you guys have been reading about this movie on the internet as long as I have, you probably already know what that surprise is. But this was an interesting little story they had here going. Review the characters. Many people has played John Connor, and I have to say that while my favorite would probably still stick with Edward Furlong's performance as the young John Connor in Terminator 2 Judgment Day, Christian Bale does a pretty good job here. He definitely gets the emotional drama out of the character, and he makes him a much more human soldier. He's not just a total devoid, lifeless, strict soldier boy who has no humanity left in him. He definitely still has that intensity, and it's very evident in the scenes that Christian Bale portrays. It really does feel like he came right out of Nick Stahl's performance from Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines into this John Connor. I was impressed with that. Sam Worthington, he was on and off. He was interesting for times. I mean, sometimes he had really good parts, like he nailed it really nicely. Other times he just nailed it flat. I mean, I don't think he's that great of an actor, personally. I was kind of disappointed. He seemed kind of lifeless, and he kind of lacked impression or depth to his facial acting. I don't know. I just wasn't getting anything from him. Anton Yelchin was very good as Kyle Reese. I was actually really impressed with his performance. I thought he performed well. He performed the youth of the character, the spark of the character, the personality. It was very good. And even though she was barely seen, I was also impressed with Bryce Dallas Howard as Kate Connor, formerly Kate Brewster of Terminator 3. I was a little disappointed to see that Claire Danes did not want to reprise her performance. However, after seeing Bryce Dallas Howard, I'm kind of glad, because I think she makes a much more appropriate Kate, if that makes sense. I mean, she definitely seems more in love with John Connor, and she definitely seems more affectionate, whereas Terminator 3 is kind of on and off, and it wasn't as evident. But I liked Bryce Dallas Howard. I thought she was good in this. I just wish they'd used her more. The rest is kind of faulting. Helena Bonham Carter is in this, but you don't really see much of her to give much of an accurate judgment. Actors like Common, who plays this soldier named Barnes, I was not impressed with him. He didn't really do much. He did a better job in Smoking Aces, and even then it was kind of the same character, essentially. Moon Bloodgood, I'm sorry, but as pretty as she is, I thought she was just terrible in this. I didn't get anything at all. She was just a flat-lined, flat-faced, very poorly drawn, poorly written, sorry, I can't even speak, I'm poorly written, character, and I was just very disappointed with her. And I was expecting something a little bigger, better from her, but in any case. Review on cinematography and music. Music was good. It was mostly a quiet movie because of the whole pounding sounds of the robots thing. It definitely helped build the intensity of the scene up. So in that case, I guess it was good that it wasn't a lot of music. Towards the end, they definitely amped up the kind of music, the dark, holy, instrumental shit that you hear in all those really good trailers. It really helped building the climax towards the final fight with the Terminator robot and John Connor and Marcus Wright in the big finish. I think definitely one thing this movie perfected is, like I said, the visuals. You truly feel like you are in this war-torn, miserable, crap-hole planet that's just been totally destroyed. All humanity just crushed and squeezed out. You see nothing but rusted metal and graveyards and dark sand and it's like a zombie movie or something where everything's just gone and just dead and rotting and just miserable. And that's basically how it should feel, because the Terminator films have always had that, but in the other films they never really had it. You never felt it as effectively because you knew humanity was still around, because you're still back in time. Well, now the future is now, so they definitely got the Terminator feel of it, so it definitely feels right, like it fits into the universe. Flaws with the film. As much as I wanted to really like this movie, and as much as I was hoping it would be something grand, unfortunately, this movie was just not as great as I think people were hoping it would be. It's good. It's very good. It's just not great. There's a very poorly done method here in terms of character development. No one really has any distinguishable personalities, and even with John Connor, everyone else, including Connor sometimes, seems very bland. There's some very dismal performances here. There's nothing really noteworthy that makes anyone stand out as an incredible individualistic performance. There's not much, character development in terms of anything else going on, and like I said, it feels like they jumped the gun a lot of things. I mean, already having a cure against Skynet, Sam Worthington, you focus so much on him, and with such a lackluster performance, it makes it even worse because you're watching a guy who basically acts like a frickin' mannequin. And I was a little disappointed this wasn't rated R. Now, this didn't hurt it, but it just would have been nice because that's what the Terminator series is all about, and it might have made things a little more. Maybe this would have been a little more intense. I also was surprised that some of the Terminator robots look kind of clunky and shitty. This is supposed to be Skynet, the most advanced robots and everything, and they didn't really seem that advanced. It just seemed like this wasn't what people were thinking it to be. And while there is a great performance, especially one scene with John Connor and Marcus Wright together, as a whole, I don't think this movie played off their characters well enough to use them properly. Final wrap-up, Terminator Salvation is a very good movie. It is good. The action is absolutely mind-blowing. I forgot to mention that, but it really is. It's some incredible action scenes, great visuals. It really gets a nitty-gritty dark feeling down on the whole doomed civilization thing. Loved Christian Bale. as John Connor, Anton Yelkin as Kyle Reese, Bryce Dallas Howard as Kate Connor, but everyone else has provided a very lackluster performance, and I was very disappointed in that. I was hoping this would be something more to this, but unfortunately, there isn't. As much as I hate to do this, and I wanted to give it a better review, I give Terminator Salvation 2 stars and a half out of 5. I'm sorry, but that's the way I feel about it. Thanks for listening. That's all for now. Bye for now. This has been Bionic Slime for BS Reviews.